guys, this is Anatheman von Sitchenstein. I'm here with one of the members of the Koffin Kats. Hey man, how you doing today?
I'm doing all right.
All right, for those fans who don't exactly know your name.
My name is Vic. I play upright bass and I sing lead vocals for the Koffin Kats.
He also sometimes plays guitar.
Yeah. We indulge in each other's instruments.
Well, first of all, I have to say thank you for doing this interview for me and the fans out there.
No problem.
So, first couple of questions is you guys do hail from Detroit.
Yeah.
What actually started the idea of being in this type of band?
Nobody else was doing it where we were from. You know, it's one of those things where you grow up, everybody on your block plays guitar, so therefore I wanted to play an upright bass. Everybody had a punk band, therefore I wanted to have a punk band with an upright bass. But then I didn't want to play in the Detroit scene my whole life. So when we formed Koffin Kats, the idea was to get out of town. Just have a band and hit the road. And we did that, over 12 years ago now. And it worked out. I mean, yeah. to get to the point about things, yeah.
Yeah, I would have to say the crowd, even in such a cramped little space, I mean, it was active, everybody loved you guys. How does that make you feel?
It's great. You know, we've been coming to Houston for years and playing all sizes of rooms, and even at this point, you know, tomorrow we could be playing a club half of the size of this, or we could be playing something that holds like 1,500. It always changes, and you always expect surprises. But with what we do as a band and the way our scene and our crowd is, it's regional. You know, some cities it's really big, we have a following, and some cities people are just finding out about us. And you know, we're one of those bands where we have no problem playing a coffee house and we have no problem doing a festival. It's just what we do. Yeah, it's just always been. We just have a good time every time we do it. So.
Very humble. That's pretty awesome.
It's not humble. It's just it's not humble. There's nothing humble about it. It's just the mentality that you need to have to be in a live act, a touring act. If this is what you want to do for a living, you need to accept the fact that you're not the shit in every city that you go to. I think that's one of the biggest downfalls with a lot of bands, is they get really disheartened very quick about, hey, everyone, you know, kissed our ass in these last big market shows, but yet we show up in these small markets and there's nobody here, or there's like a couple people that drove hours to see you, but you're like, oh, whatever, it's a small crowd. You can't have that mentality. You have to appreciate everybody that pays to come through the door. I don't want to say it's a secret, but that's been the way we've conducted ourselves throughout the years. It's whether there's 2 people or 200 people, you give everyone a show. You respect everyone equally. You meet everyone that you can. You know, you can't talk your ass off before you play or you blow your voice out, but afterwards you can meet a few people, you know, and let people know you appreciate it, and that's what's going to keep people coming back. If there's any advice I can give to anybody in a band that's starting out and needs to understand how to conduct themselves as a band, don't be an asshole. Nobody likes a fucking rock star. And after 12 years of touring, I can say that with the all intensity and full heart. Don't be a fucking asshole.
Blunt words of wisdom, but probably the best. So when writing your music, how does that actually form? Do you write it, or does another person write it, or do you all just get together on it?
It's sweet muffler, bro. How it works is, and here's another way that I can give advice to aspiring bands. Don't ever be the sole writer. When it comes to writing music, if somebody was there when you wrote the song, but you had a drummer and to make it simple, you had a drummer and a guitar player, and you wrote the song, split it up 1/3. Go, this guy wrote it, and I wrote it. No matter if you wrote the melody and you wrote the lyrics, when it comes down to it, just have it be all 3 of you made the song happen. That's the way you need to look at it. Now, when it comes down to it for us, yeah, I write the lyrics because I sing. It's just easier that way. it's easier because I come up with a melody, I hear the song, and whether I'm making the chord progression happen or our guitar player, he has an idea, or even just E-ball drumming on the drums, and then I come up with a bass riff, and then it goes from there. It wouldn't happen if it wasn't for the other two guys. Yeah. So I like to say all three of us write it. But when it comes down to it, the lyrics, though, I write the lyrics because I sing it, and I'm not going to sing anything that I don't write, unless it's a cover of Maneater.
All right, so touring a lot, like, what's the secret to touring? I mean, cramped quarters, things can get kind of stressful. What would be your words of wisdom to, like, get through that?
Find people that aren't babies. Find people that can put up with shit. There's a lot of fucking band dudes that are fucking downright pussies. You need to find the ones that can put up with shit. You need to find the guys that can smell bad for a week and not complain about it, because that's just what's going to happen. You'll hit a streak of tour in 1 week where you stay at awesome houses. We don't get hotels. We don't get motels. We in our contract for our shows, we don't negotiate in we need lavish staying places. We say, hey, to the promoter, we're like, hey, do you got a place, a floor we can sleep on? Anything close to the club we can drive to afterwards? Because what's the point? We're going to go get a Motel 6, go check in at 4 a.m. and check out at 8 a.m. because we got to drive to the next city. It doesn't make any sense. We're going to sleep on some floors, and it's just always how we've done it. Walmart parking lots.
Walmart parking lots.
Yeah, you can hit the and this, I'm not promoting Walmart in any way, because I know there's mixed feelings on that and all that shit, but they don't fuck with you if you park in their parking lots overnight. That's all I can say about that. Yeah.
What has been because you guys have been going for over a decade, what would be your most memorable moment actually in this band?
It was the moment where I realized that, holy shit, I'm leaving on tour, and when I come home, I won't be going back to work. And that was 7 years ago now. It was that moment where you're like, your safety net was pulled out from under you. And because it was always, no matter how bad a tour was, we could always go home and go back to our jobs. But it just got to be, we were touring so much that our jobs were like, all right guys, well, you can't leave for 8 months out of the year and come back and still have something here. And so that was the pivotal moment in this band that made it go into like just full throttle. And I'll never forget that. And it's just been the mentality the whole time, where since we did that, it was like, okay, tour, then write, release an album, but get right back out on the road. And that's just always what we've done, and we continue to do it.
I know I personally, this is actually my first time seeing you guys play live. It was absolutely amazing. Something that really impressed me is that, I've always heard about the tricks you guys do, of course, not just gimmicks, awesome music with that, which I can't stress how amazing that is for your music to sound so amazing and you guys to do those tricks at the same time. And in a cramped space such as this, what's the practice like to do that? I mean, has there ever been any tumble or falls?
It's always trial by fire. And how all that came about was, for a good portion of our career as a band, we were playing in clubs that sounded like shit. So if you're going to sound like shit, at least give people something to look at. So it came from, hey, we have these instruments, there's 3 of us, we can move around on stage, let's have fun with it. And that's where the tricks came from, the acrobatics, all that swapping of instruments and stuff, because we're like, hey, it gets boring watching 3 people stand there in one spot. Nobody wants to see that after. Yeah, it's cool, you can play all the songs that they want to fucking hear, but after a while, it's like, it doesn't matter how great your music is, nobody wants to just sit and stare at you. You need to keep it, like, interesting. And that was the idea behind the acrobatics and all that shit. But also for us, and maybe this sounds rather selfish, but when you're doing over 200 shows out of the year, I don't want to stand in one spot, and I can't in my right mind stand in one spot when people are losing their minds out in front of us and having a great time. I'm like, I don't want to be an asshole just standing here. I want to go have fun too, you know. And so that it's just, we feed off the crowd returns it, we give it back. That's, you know, it's just how it happens. It's hard to explain what was the pivotal moment of why did we start doing it. It just naturally started happening. You know, it wasn't something where we sat down and said, how can we make our show more interesting? These are all organic things that just started happening.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Really is. So before we go, you know, is there anything you want to plug, you know, anything that, you know, fans of yours should be on the lookout for?
Well, we're all on the internet stuff, Facebook, all the social media shit. You can just do one of those searches, and under Koffin Kats with KOFFINKATS, you'll find us. And just, you know, stay posted. If you're interested in anything that we did or anything that you heard, stay posted. We're always active and at least keeping people updated with what we're doing and when our tours are happening and who we're touring with. We have a tour coming up with the Dwarves just after the New Year. That's going to be on the East Coast, but then we have a tour coming through this region with Reverend Horton Heat in April.
We'll definitely be there.
Yeah.
Fucking love it.
You know, just if you like what you hear, just pay attention. That's all. You know, it's not hard to find what we're doing. We stay very active on the internet as much as we can. And when it comes to plugging, that's all I can think to plug.
All right, guys. Well, I'm Anatheman von Sitchenstein. If you don't know who this guy is, I don't know what's wrong with you. I'm sorry, but anyway, stay creepy, guys.
Oh,